Seth Rogen's right. The name actually is weird not hearing me Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, is it odd now because you've become so famous as Machine Gun that you're not Coulson anymore, or is it two different...
I haven't been Coulson since I was 15. Since I was 15 years old, I was like, I'm Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, but Coulson is just better for when you're in movies than in the...
You know, Nickelodeon and Disney don't like Machine Gun.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's your first time in the chair. I'm so happy you've been here and performed.
Yeah.
By the way, I love your new album.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
fantastic.
You. Thank you.
Congratulations on that. But I'm happy that you're actually here and sitting in the chair, and I get to talk to you because, man, you're really fun to talk to.
Thanks.
Talking with you backstage. I mean, we have.
I whispered some to you one time when I performed here. I was like, dude, I love that song, Snowball Fight.
I mean,
Which was Jimmy had an album I listened to a lot in middle school. It's.
I probably didn't even believe.
Yeah,
I don't.
If we replay it back, you probably see me just slip it to you and walk away. But I was just like, dude, I love
Snowball Fight. I mean, that was my first
Snowball Fight.
Dude, I love that. Yeah, please, classic. But I really, everyone loves that. Please don't. Please sit down. We'll add applause later in post. We both worked with Cameron Crowe, which is cool. How much do you love Cameron Crowe?
I love him so much that I sent him a mean text.
No.
Yeah.
To Cameron Crowe, the nicest human?
The nicest human. The guy who actually reintroduced me to my name.
He really?
Yeah, he was when I did that show, Roadies, I had a parking spot and it said Coulson, and I like walked around and all the guy I'd be like Bob and Jimmy, and they'd be like, hey, Coulson, whatever, and I was like, man, I think I like my real name again, and
that was Cameron that did that, and you send him a mean text.
I have this thing in my life where I just like run everyone away that loves me, and so Cameron loves me, and I have this thing where I was like, you can't love me too much, because I'm gonna run you away. I'm gonna snap. And so I would always call Cameron, and he would always answer, and he would kind of just, give me advice or, whatever. And so he didn't answer my call. I think I called him like 3 times, over a period of like 3 days. Called him 3 times, he didn't answer, and I texted him. I said, oh, it's so punk rock that you don't answer.
And
he never answered that.
He never answered. No, it's even more punk rock.
It's so punk rock. I know, it's so punk rock. I feel so bad.
If you're watching, we both love you.
To be fair, I sent him a follow text, and I was like, in case you didn't get my humor, I was just...
You do have a good sense of humor, I will say. Pete Davidson was on our show recently, and we talked about you guys getting together, and you fell off the stage together at Good Nights at Saturday Night Live.
If you show that clip, I'm gonna...
I would never... We shall do
it. Oh, God. Okay.
There you go. Watch this.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Oh! So I go to Pete. I go, what happened? What was that thing? What happened with the machine gun? And he goes, he had a bruised coccyx. And I go, what? He goes, he bruised his coccyx.
It was bad.
No, but I don't even know what a coccyx is.
I didn't know what it was either until the doctor was like, well, you bruised your coccyx.
Wait, so I understand. So
like 3 different x-rays over in 3 different states. I was like, why can't I sit or stand or do anything? They were like, you see this area here in your ass? It's
Oh, so that's coccyx.
Yeah, it's your butt.
How did you go about bruising your coccyx?
I had a match with Post Malone in a beer pong game, and
as one does, yeah, okay. I think I've played beer pong against Post Malone.
And when you get the cup and you start drinking?
Of course.
So we didn't even get to the game and I started drinking, and so they filmed on the way out. They did like a Rocky boxing match, film on the way out, and I couldn't take the pressure of the camera, so I was like, all right, every 5 steps I gotta do something cool, because it's like 500 steps. I don't just wanna just walk.
Exactly.
So I was like, gotta do something. So every 5 steps I'd be like, and then there was a staircase rail, and I was like, yeah, great. So I'd hit the staircase rail, and I wrote it down at the bottom of it. I didn't see a giant spike, and it just,
bruised your coccyx.
Yeah, it rammed.
Oh, wow.
It did something I was not.
Yeah. Did you play it off? You played it off like it was cool?
Yeah. And then this was also right when I started was starting to date, Megan, and I I was holding it together. It was just it was a bad night. The whole I won the ping pong match. I went home. I was like, I had this. Travis got me this. He got me a knife that was that had an engravement from the new album on it, and I was like, oh, check this out. This is sick. And I threw it up, and it came and stuck in my hand. You see that right here?
I do see that.
Yeah, that was from when a knife stuck in my. Because you know how you throw it up and you're supposed to catch it. I looked at her. I was like, check this out. And I was like,
she's like, you were the coolest dude I've ever met in my life. Kiss me. Wow.
And then the next morning, as soon as she left, I was like. Yo, I need stitches real quick.
Yeah, like, dude, I got a bruised coccyx over here and a knife in my hand.
And a knife in my hand.
Dude, that's so.
Yeah, and so I didn't have strength. So when I picked Pete, and like Pete is like he's a method person. Like he's always a different shape every time I see him.
Is he? Yeah, he is a little
bit. He has a different hair, different body. Like one day he's like, dude, I'm just worked out for 2 months straight.
And he's super skinny.
And then he stays super skinny. And like, yeah, and so this time he was like, I like showed up and he was sweating. He was like, what's up, bro? What's up? He was huge. And I was like, yeah, like we should do something funny. And then like,
But you're both
like,
tall,
this
dude.
would be hilarious.
How tall are you?
6'4".
Yeah, that's tall. And Pete's tall.
Yeah.
So to lift up a tall man, and you're tall, that's a big fall.
You know what? I think subconsciously, I think I let myself, I was like, SNL, how did you not do a sketch with us? And I was like, 30 seconds left to go, I'll come up with something.
Here's a sketch. By the way, you crushed that performance. Both performances, by the way, were fantastic. Very good. I love that you did something different and it was cool. I want to talk about your movie. This is The Last Son. Congrats on this. You got to do something that I'm actually so jealous of. You got to kick open a saloon door.
Over and over again. But it wasn't, it was never in the movie. It was just off, it was off camera. It was because
it doesn't matter.
We lived on set. So I lived in the barber shop, which was adjacent from the saloon, which held all the wardrobe. Like, all the shots in the movie are in this town. It was beautifully shot, but like, you know, there was always all the cast lived on there except for like Sam Worthington. I think he was method and like lived in the woods or something.
Wow.
But because I never saw him in the town except for when he was acting.
You all lived in the town?
But I lived in the barber shop, and so every day like the saloon doors would just be calling my name every day. I'd wake up and I'd be like, good morning, and everyone was like, God, 5 days in a row.
Weirdly, I don't know why, but it's always been kind of a dream of mine to kick open a door.
It's great. It's not fun when you do it 16 days in a row.
Yeah, but I don't know.
For me, it was.
But look how cool. You're much cooler than I am. But I mean, I remember in college I had a playlist of songs that would be great to kick doors open to.
Cool.
And number one was Misty Mountain Hop, Led Zeppelin. It goes like a down down. I'm like, if I go, maybe what I'll do is I'll have someone go into a bar, play that on the jukebox, and when it gets to the right moment, I go, and it's, what's up, man?
Yeah.
You know, oh my gosh, never got to live.
Well,
that.
I know the place.
The saloon?
I know the place. We'll go one day.
All right, you tell me the bar, and I'll go.
We'll bring the roof so they can be as cool as what just happened.
Can you tell everyone? Can you tell everyone what the movie is about?
Yeah, so it's almost to me. I mean, I don't want to speak for the director. He might be like, "What are you doing?" But to me, it was almost like Kronos, like the Greek mythology of the father who eats his sons. He's told one of his sons is going to overthrow him, so he eats all of his kids so that they can't overthrow him. And it's the same thing in this one. Like Sam Worthington is the father. He gets a curse where it's said that one of his kin is going to kill him. So he goes and he kills all of his kids, and I'm the last one that he has to kill. And you gotta watch the movie to find out if.
Yeah, what happens? The Last Son, right here. I want to show everyone a clip. Here's Colson Baker in The Last Son. Take a look at this.
Nice to meet you. Got a nice place here. Chin up, man. You look good. That's nice. Man. Take a kneel for me, sir.
Ooh. I'm into that. Colson Baker, a.k.a. Machine Gun Kelly, everybody. The Last Son is in select theaters December 10th. Please come back whenever you'd like. Please come back to the show. I think you're really fun.
Okay, I'll just stay here.
All right, perfect.
Hey, hey.